I'm going to show really quickly what the teacher view looks like in Newsela, and then I'll show what it looks like for the student. So if I go into Newsela and say I pick this article to assign to my students, then once I go in, I would start by looking at the write prompt, and that's where I can choose to ask students to write some sentences or paragraphs. So here by default, they've asked this question, which I'm pretty happy with. I'm going to leave it. Write a short paragraph that explains the central idea of the article. Use at least 2 details from the article to support your response. If you wanted to edit it, you can just press that little pencil icon and you can edit it there. Now the quiz questions, they are in there. You cannot edit them. They've already identified the correct response, so students get an automatic indication of if they've done that correctly or incorrectly. Then the other thing that you can do with the Pro account is you can ask students to highlight, and you can highlight things for students. So for example, say that you want them to highlight any words that they don't understand yet and you want them to define them. You can do that. So here's an example that you might give to students is you could highlight this in yellow and then ask students to annotate, please define this word. And when you press share, then students will have the ability to reply to your comment. And then once you're done putting everything in, you would assign it to your class, and that is where you will get details for putting in instructions. So I'm going to say, while reading the article, use the highlighter tool to pick out words that you are unfamiliar with, using the comment feature to find those words, and then after you've read the article, they'll just do that write prompt, which we had already done. So once I set that, I've assigned it to my class, and then I'm going to go ahead and log in as the student. So as a student, when I go to the binder and I click on assignments here, then if I've taken some quizzes, I'll see, a little breakdown of what I've done. But here is where I can find the assignment that I have to do. And then when I go into it, you can see right here, this was what I had highlighted before, and I asked students to define the words. So I can just press reply and write my definition here. And then I can highlight any other words. So I can just highlight, just like I did as a teacher. Now the student can do that same thing, and students can then define it, blah, blah, blah. And then let me just pick some other words. So here, highlight, define, highlight, define. We're just doing this as an example. You get the idea. Okay, so that's good. So say that I do that. I'm not going to do the quiz right now. Quiz responses come in pretty straightforward. Now as the teacher, I'm back in my teacher account, and I just clicked on the binder so that I can see all activity that have been done for all of my classes. Here is this example that I just did. Here, if students had completed the quiz, I would see the quiz average and the quiz completion rate. But here I would see a breakdown of all my individual students, and I can see that, Stacy made 5 annotations, and if I click on Stacy, I can actually see what annotation she made. So right here I can see that, I replied to defining this word here, and then here I highlighted some of my own words and I defined them on the side. And as the teacher, I can even just reply directly to my students within Newsela without having to go out if they defined it incorrectly or you wanted to make any suggestions to them right there. Finally, in addition to the quiz, they have the write assignment. So right here, I was asked to write a short paragraph, so I can go ahead and type in my response. Let me just put in the question a couple times so it looks like a paragraph, and then I would submit that. And then when I go back to the teacher end, I can see here what the response was, and then I can just score it right in here. And I can leave comments right in here also for the students. So that's just a quick overview of what Newsela looks like from the teacher end and also from the student end. When you're ready to make some of your classes, what you can do is just go up here to the little gear icon and go to classes. And that's where you'll have the ability to create new classes. So I have 2 classes here, but I can type in a new class. And then select a grade level. And then once you add the class, you'll just get this I don't want to create another class, so I'm not going to do it right now. You would just get, this class code, but the easiest thing to do is just press this invite students thing. Just copy this directly to your Haiku page, and then when students click on the link, all they'll do is they'll say, it's my first time here, and then they'll sign in with their Google account, and that's all they have to do. So hopefully that helps, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.